Hello and welcome everyone to another tutorial. Today I'm going to show you how you can speed up your Samsung Galaxy smartphone. These tips and tricks work with any Samsung Galaxy smartphone, even though it's a Samsung Galaxy Note 9 like this one, or maybe a Samsung Galaxy A51. So let's get started. The first thing I'm going to do, and yes, this option works with any Android phone, I'm going to go to menu over here. I'm gonna go to the last option, about phone and software information. Right here, I'm gonna click on build number for a number of times until it asks for my PIN. That's why, because I'm going to enable developer options. What is developer options? Well, it's a set of options for developers. Actually, it's a secret hidden menu that's available on Android smartphones, but be careful, what you modify in here could have huge impact on your battery, on your display, or some other options. You can actually disable Bluetooth wireless, so be careful what you modify in here. What you want to do is go down after the Bluetooth settings until you get to window animation scale, transition animation scale, and animator duration scale. Now by default, these options are at 1x. I'm going to turn down to 0.5x the window animation scale and the transition, and the animator works as well. So right now, the interface of the smartphone is going to move a lot faster. Why? Because instead of 1 second of showing you an animation when you open an app or scroll through a menu, it's going to take just 0.5 seconds. Now, if your smartphone is a little low on memory, let's say you have a Galaxy smartphone with 3 or 4 gigabytes of RAM, you might want to try window animation scale to off and transition animation scale to off as well. These are going to show you a lot less animations. The only one that are kept are the menus, as you can see, and the apps just pop out, just like that. So this is my first tip that works on any Android smartphone. The second one, it's actually device specific and it works well with Samsung smartphones. You're going to go to settings, you're going to search for, that was a train, yes, you're going to search for power, and right here you're going to see device care power mode. By default, any Samsung smartphone comes in optimized mode. That means that the CPU is going to get limited to 70% on various scenarios, especially when you're in the menu, so the smartphone doesn't take up a lot of battery. But as well, the brightness is going to go down and the resolution is going to be lower than the maximum resolution supported by your phone. That's not a bad thing, because there's a difference. If you want to show 2.5 million pixels on your screen at the same time, that's equivalent to Full HD Plus resolution, it's gonna take a lot less battery than 4 million pixels, let's say. That's equivalent to the 3K resolution available on newer smartphones today. But if you want to feel your smartphone move a lot faster, you're gonna opt for high performance. And right now, it asks me to increase the brightness. So no, I won't increase the brightness because I don't want it to take a toll on the battery. Screen resolution, I think Full HD Plus is enough for me, but if you're watching a lot of videos or you want to see so much information on your screen, you can switch to WQHD Plus. I will set it to Full HD Plus and hit apply. And right now you can see brightness, the limit CPU speed, it's now off. That means if the CPU needs more power to open an app or something like that, it will go a lot faster from the base frequency, which is about 800 MHz to 2.7 GHz. That's the delay you're going to see in so many apps when you click on the app and you just wait a few seconds until it starts. The CPU going from the low power mode to the highest performance. When it's limited to 70%, well, 70% of performance instead of 100. Be careful, this option is going to consume a lot more power. That means your phone will last about 15% less than before. I don't think I have a problem with that, considering the newer smartphones are actually really fast charging. One more thing you can do, you can go to the battery and use the device care. From right here, you can set power management for apps. Adaptive battery limits battery usage for apps that you don't use often. And that's a good thing, because some of the apps you install are going to remain in your memory and are going to be active a lot of the time. So the smartphone sees which app you don't use very often, like for example Booking.com. Come on, no one uses Booking.com right now, and it's going to put it to sleep as often as it can. You can leave it on. This is a good setting. Now, as you head back, you're going to see device care, close background apps and run checks. This is going to free a lot of your storage. What it does is that actually deletes a lot of cache. The memory and, well, security is not active. See, it closed 2 background apps and freed a lot of memory. So the next step you're going to want to take is go into the settings again. Of course, everything is done by going to the settings menu and search for apps. Okay, right here you're going to see all the applications installed on your smartphone. As you can see, I have a menu right here and I can click disabled apps. Most of these are actually the factory apps that are installed on your Samsung smartphone. I actually never used AR emoji, so that's why I clicked disable. You can turn on or disable your apps so it won't consume any battery or any performance. Most of these apps actually sit in the background and wait for you to, I don't know, use AR emoji, especially in Messenger or maybe in your Insta stories. So that's why I disabled this app. You can disable it or enable it as many times as you want. Microsoft Excel, never used it, so I disabled. IGTV as well. Lime, well, doesn't work right now. OneDrive, I don't use it. I use Google Drive, PowerPoint. Samsung Checkout, I'm not using it. Samsung Checkout, it stays on your phone all the time and it drains your battery. Still, in the apps menu, you can see any app installed. So you might want to go think about the apps you haven't used in the last month or so. If you haven't used one of these apps in the last month, that means you're not going to need it. So maybe I'm gonna uninstall, let's say, I don't know, Bolt. Haven't used it in the last month. Bose Connect, haven't used it actually not once since I installed this phone. Just might want to uninstall it. Another one, Bixby Surface and Vision and Voice unfortunately cannot be disabled on newer Samsung Galaxy smartphones. It could be disabled in Samsung Galaxy Note 8, but just before the update to Android 9. Involving apps is actually clearing the cache of the apps. Every app on your phone creates a cache memory, a cache buffer, to save, I don't know, like the pages you visit very often. For me is Cavalleria.ro and Booknish.ro, maybe the friends you're talking to if we're talking about messaging apps. So what you want to do is go into any app, especially the high profile ones like Facebook, Facebook Messenger, WhatsApp Messenger, Instagram. Those are the ones that are creating a lot of cache. Google, for example, is creating a lot of cache. So you go into the app, you click storage, and you click clear cache. And right now, the app actually rebuilds its cache the first time you open it, but it's not going to get corrupted as often because it's going to be smaller. And you can do this for any apps you can find on your phone, especially for Instagram, IGTV, Facebook, Facebook Messenger. Facebook Messenger is just a buzz. I wouldn't want to delete cache from the Maps app because it helps you. It actually downloads in the background a lot of the area you're moving in, so it's better to keep it that way. But just be careful. When you go in here and click storage, you have 2 options. You have clear data and clear cache. Clear cache is the one you want. If you click clear data, it's going to wipe out any saved videos, let's say by Netflix, your user account, and make the app just the way you installed it, with no accounts. So you have to log in again. So these are most of the tips I'm using to speed up my Samsung Galaxy smartphone. Now another good option is clearing the overall cache of the smartphone, because Android has its own separate partition for caching. Now this is a good idea, but you don't want to exaggerate. You don't want to do it more than once a month. Let's say once every 2 months is okay. But be careful, because just underneath this option is the option to wipe your smartphone forever. you can actually delete your data by mistake by not clicking on the right option. So I'm going to show you. First of all, for any Samsung smartphone, you power off your smartphone. If you have a Samsung smartphone with a Bixby button on the left, you have to keep it pressed. Now press the volume up button and keep it pressed as well, and then press the power button. Hold it for a few seconds and this Samsung logo appears. Release the power button, keep them pressed a little longer, and that's it. If you don't have a Bixby button on your smartphone, the option is you keep the volume up pressed and then the power button. So this is the developer menu, the Android recovery menu. You can scroll down through options using the volume rocker. And right here you have two options. You have wipe data factory reset. This is not the option you want. Just below that you have wipe cache partition. Now this is the option you want to click once a month maximum. So to activate it, you just push the power button. You confirm by going down to the yes and power button again. And right here, right below, it's gonna say cache wipe complete. And right now, the option selected is reboot system now. You just press the power button once again. So this is it. This is how you make your smartphone run a lot faster. This option actually works very well after you install the system update. Let's talk about when you update it from Android 9 to Android 10. The cache is gonna get a little messy, so it's a good thing to do this. Actually, the updater might do it, but just to be sure, you might want to do it yourself. So these are my tips for making your Samsung Galaxy smartphone run a lot faster. As I was saying, they work on every Samsung smartphone, and most of them options work on any Android smartphone. So that's it for today. My name is Radu, and if you like this video, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button, and if you didn't like it, well, there's an option for that on YouTube. But first, please tell me in the comments what exactly didn't you like about this video. Was it my English? Well, I promise you it's going to get a lot better. So that's it. Have a good day and see you in the next one.